It's me, Jum Jumington, former CEO of Jumington Dynamics, broadcasting live from the Jumington Dynamics auxiliary hazardous material storage facility somewhere in the world. My microphone's a little messed up. Give me a second here. Okay. How's it going, everybody? Ooh, it's a hot one out there. It's a hot one today where I'm at. I was trying to get the pool cleaned out. Oh, every time. It's a huge nightmare. It's a huge nightmare getting the pools cleaned out. All these my ears are kind of, I don't know what's going on. Everything sounded weird to me. YouTube does not like the all caps flash. I think it assumes you're asking for something else. Enjoy the movie night. Oh, I hope so. Are you gonna stick around to watch, or you got other things going on? Well, I know you got World of Warcraft that you're doing. Flash the camera. I can flash the camera. That's as good as you're gonna get. That better not be the only thing I can put on myself for Halloween this year, but I do get a lot of mileage out of it. What's up, Flash? What's up, brother dude? What's up, Skyo? Bare nude your soul. I'm not sure if I still have one of those, to be honest. Oh, I hate this. My eyeballs are fogging over. Well, I got my popcorn here. I hope you all got your popcorn. Mr. Dilly Tingle, how's it going? How you doing? I'll take my eyeballs out for a second here. Gotta clean the old eyes. It gets hot and steamy outside, and then I come inside, my glass eyes just fog up. Problem with having synthetic eyeballs, they don't like to work properly. Ooh, I'll cool off in a minute. What a nightmare. Terrified. This is worse than the movie. What's up, cybernetic twilly? How's it going? All right, well, this is the first time I've ever done one of these. I put a link in the chat. It is pinned to the chat. Night of the Living Dead is public domain. Last I checked, they never were able to reverse any of that. And I believe that all owes to the lack of a proper copyright notice in the titling, which left it free floating, which is very funny to me because, I mean, as it stands, you yourself could produce a DVD of it and sell it on the open market. That said, I'm still not going to broadcast this on YouTube, because I absolutely do not trust YouTube to properly respect. We're not playing Wild Tale 7, so I think we're good. Oh yeah, we should be done. So the movie's only an hour and 35 minutes. Even with my jib jabbing, probably 2 hours tops here. What's up, Judd? Welcome in. So that's why I have the link in the description. Yeah, because I mean, it's all automated, right? And I see people playing Metal Gear Solid 2. And then getting DMCA strikes because some random rapper sampled it and claims it on copyright. And that's not legit at all. But it goes through, and it's a hell of a time fighting it. And, sometimes you may think well, you're a small channel, YouTube's not going to care. But it actually works against you because it's an automated system. If you're a small channel, it's far less likely that you're going to be able to do what needs to be done, which is to garner enough public support and pressure on YouTube to actually fix the things that are working incorrectly. DMCA is a huge mess. It doesn't work properly for consumers at all. And that's, I hear discussion all the time of fair use on stuff, or this is public domain. Doesn't matter. Somebody could strike it because other people have videos of it that could still say I own that. And you can fight it, but why bother? Also, the secondary reason is to set the standard, because I'm going to show other movies. I'm going to do watch-alongs with other movies that are not public domain, and I absolutely couldn't broadcast those. So rather than go back and forth, we're just gonna run like this. We'll see how this works. Pretty much how it's going to happen is you can click on that link. It'll go to archive.org. The Internet Archive has a really nice copy of it. You start doing reaction content to BattleBots. BattleBots, yeah, like the for real BattleBots, not like an anime. I'm sure you mean the real BattleBots. Unless there's some new thing I haven't heard of. So it's going to work. You're going to click on that link. I'm going to go over to the movie screen. I'm going to have a timer on the screen. I'm going to start it. Once I start the movie, I'll make sure, check with everybody, make sure everybody's ready. Timer doesn't have to be perfect. My timer won't be perfect because there's going to be like a second or two where I got to click back and forth. Not all that important. This isn't like a second to second thing. It's just there for like a rough timing. So if someone comes in later, they can click on the link, catch up with it, etc., etc. Should not be any advertisements or anything on that interfering with it. And it generally works like fairly well on the Internet Archive. I've watched a lot of movies on there. Something you were like, I've never seen this movie. Well, I mean, that's a good reason to watch it. It's a good reason to watch it. It's a classic movie. 1968 has a remake, which I honestly think is really good. I really like the Night of the Living Dead remake from the 80s. The original is still fantastic. 5 seconds in, I ruined it. You ruined it. This was a movie. Right before we get in, I'm gonna just tell this quick story. I'm sure I've told it before, or at least part of it. My mom rented this movie for us. No, she didn't rent it. She bought this movie for us because I had seen some kind of show on TV referencing it, and I really wanted to watch it. And I was probably like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old at the time. And so we got this movie, and my brother got a Godzilla movie, Godzilla vs. Megalon, which we also loved. And we were watching it, and my brother was so terrified of this movie, he forced me to turn it off. And for years, I could just say, "They're coming to get you, Chris," and it would terrify him. It would start a huge fight. Flash forward to now, my brother is a huge horror movie fan. Horror. Try to overpronounce it because I tend to like slur the word a little bit, and it sounds like something else. Don't you dare. But he's a huge spoopy movie fan, and it's so funny to me because he was so terrified of this as a kid. I just thought it was great. Although later I did have a nightmare about a zombie hand coming out of the lawn and grabbing me. So I guess I got my confidence. Years and years later, I was at a movie convention and I ran into the lead actor and actresses. Remember the siblings you see at the start of the movie were there. And I got an autograph from my brother, but they didn't just give me an autograph. When I told them the story about showing it to my brother and having him terrified as kids, they actually had me call my brother on the phone and tell him how much they appreciated that he was a fan of the movie. So that was very special. I was very excited about that. They were very, very nice. I've seen a lot of the actors, at least the ones that are still around at conventions, and they're all like really humble, cool people. Very, very cheap movie. I think this was made for $10,000. I don't know what that translates into now. It's funny to think about. I don't have $10,000 lying around to go make a movie. I don't know about you. That's still a lot of money to me. But in movie terms, that's pretty damn cheap. It's pretty damn cheap. Night of the contradicting title. What's up, Joshua? All right, well, let's roll over to the game screen. And you're going to see the timer pop up in a second here, and the movie will be just kind of fuzzed out in the background. We'll see how that goes through. Guessing this movie is the reason why they made Resident Evil games? Yes. So George Romero was a huge inspiration for the Resident Evil games, particularly the opening. They were going for the Night of the Living Dead. George Romero, I believe, actually directed commercials. I don't know if they got used. They're still out there. I always forget if they got used or not because it seems like I think he was going to do a movie as well. I forget the details, but George Romero, in turn, was involved in some Resident Evil projects, at least on paper. So there's a lot of back and forth between them. But this is one of like the classic movies that, while it wasn't the first thing to include zombies, I believe it was the first thing to include this particular type of zombie, or at the very least, it popularized it. So all your Walking Deads, everything like that, all springs forth from this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fire up the movie. Everybody ready? I'll fire up the movie. I'm going to hit the timer. You can, skip forward or back as you need to. The opening crawl is not super duper essential for a few minutes, so you've got time to adjust. So unless anybody is still holding off, I'm going to fire it up now. I'll give you approximately 30 seconds to respond. Okay. It's probably less than 30 seconds. All right, let's fire it up. Night of the Living Dead. Link in the chat, not the description. Just the chat that's pinned at the top. I will try not to talk too much during this. If I get too annoying, A, let me know, and then B, turn the volume down. Night of the Dying Life. Wait, that's just every night, Joshua. It's not a movie without popcorn, baby. Oh, yeah. I'm going to 10 house see this movie. Do you mean how scary, I assume? Depends on your own tolerance. It is from 1968. It's black and white. You know, it's high pressure, but it is really like a lot of Romero's stuff. It is like the zombies are there. They're threatening. People get ripped up, not too graphically, but it's a lot of psychology, like how the interplay of the survivors work, who cracks, what people do under pressure. I don't find it to be terribly scary. You could ask my older brother decades ago what he thought of it. There is another version of this that was released. I don't believe this would have anything in it that has some additional footage that adds like another character they interview who survived it. It's like a priest who was bitten and hadn't turned yet, and they gave him like a little dog. And like, as long as he's got the dog, we'll know he hasn't turned because he hasn't eaten the dog. And then towards the end of the interview, someone's like, "Hey, what happened to your dog?" And it just kind of cuts out. It's kind of hokey. Not like Friday the 13th. No. I mean, everyone has a different tolerance or different things that set them off. Yeah. Oh, this cool cat with his driving gloves. Johnny, be good. Timer's supposed to be counting down. It is. I don't know if I can fix that now. What if I can set another one? I am 3 minutes and 30 seconds in. But I appreciate that, Cybernetic, because I can make adjustments the next time I do it. This is just running off of a website. And I kind of waited too long to put it up. I don't have much control over it. Not well thought out. I apologize. This guy's whining. Yeah, Johnny is a whiner. Change this thing. There we go. It may be a second or two off, but hopefully that is more useful. Here it comes. Yeah, something ain't right. His driving gloves still on because he's getting ready to throw down, man. You don't want to mess up your knuckles. You keep the gloves on when you get ready to throw hands. Keep your skin silky smooth. Have a nice school class in my Johnny. Oh! My folks, that's all it takes. If you thought getting clocked in the head was something you could walk away from, you're probably going to die. It don't take much. Human beings are powerful weak. Fatality. It's before stuntman and protection. That man is dead. Most of the budget for the movie went to his funeral. Shouldn't joke about that because that does happen, but I don't believe it did in this case. I'm pretty sure in that instance they're just strategic use of camera angles to make his head look closer than it was. The man's hangry. The fact that it's smart enough to grab the handle of the door is terrifying. Yeah, they make a big deal in the sequels and in a lot of other zombie movies that the zombies are all fairly mindless. So that it's more of a shock when one of them learns something. But in this movie, like, a lot of the zombies are pretty damn with it. Mr. Rock's a tool. They're learning. Public domain for the win. What's up, Woku? I haven't seen this movie in ages. Last time I watched it, I was at my friend's house. It was extremely late at night when we were watching this. I lived 2 towns over. I make the drive back, got pulled over in a speed trap. Not a pleasant night. Let me off with a warning, though. No, there's no sound. There is no sound. That's why you got to watch the movie on your own. Because if I'm not running the chance that YouTube's like, this sound is copyrighted. Because there's already YouTube videos of this up there, so. Yeah, the link is pinned at the top. Apologies if that was not clear. In the world's tiniest pothole. Well, I think there's, she probably had the car wasn't running. I don't know if power steering was even a thing then, but mostly it happened for dramatic effect. Like this with no sound. Yeah, because Johnny had the keys. Johnny had the keys. That's why she had to pull the parking brake and just let it roll downhill. But once it hit the slightest incline, it wasn't going anywhere. They wouldn't have power steering. No. Those old cars drove like wild boats. You could spin that wheel all over the place and not get anywhere. Fast fighting zombie no running. Well, it's like they got to build their zombie character. You can't get it all. You gotta pick like 2 out of 3. Are you smart? Are you tough? Are you fast? If you have it all, then it's a whole different animal. Pick the movie using the public domain due to legal BS. Yeah, it's like a technicality. There's 2 parallel series of sequels of Dead series, Return of the Living Dead, both made by original creators. I don't know who was involved in Return of the Living Dead from this. Those are wild movies. Absolutely wild. I love those movies. Prim over here arguing with the forces that zombify. Look, man, I want it all. I'll shamble for you, but I got to be able to run. Give me the power, or just put me in the ground. I'm not playing games with you. DVD or Blu-ray. This is, according to the archive page, this is pulled from a Blu-ray release. Which is probably a transfer from, I don't think it's not upscaled or anything that I know of. But it's a pretty nice transfer, pretty clean. It's a very like pointy candy dish. Or is it like a juicer? Oh, oh my. You came to the wrong neighborhood, lady. Is it though? What's the difference between movie zombie tropes, video game zombie tropes? Oh yeah, a video game, like all bets are off. So it depends on like the type of zombie in it. Supernatural, biological, genetic abnormality. Spend a lot of time on that. You want to get as much screen time as possible. Barbara, I made some sandwiches for you, Barbara. Do you want some sandwiches, Barbara? God damn it, there's no mustard. This truly is the end. Ham and cheese, turkey, Barbara. Barbara, I've got bad news. There's no cheese, Barbara. Try to stay calm. It was controversial back then. The same reason movies are controversial today. Some of it was the character composition. Some of it was the gore. But the 60s, things were starting to, like, people were getting away with a little bit more. I think it's fairly fresh out of the era where they're like, that lady's showing too much leg. Give her a slap. That always works. It doesn't work. Hit him again. Some Google's the color of skin. Yeah. I mean, that's, like I said, the character composition, which was referring to Ben. Particularly the way it ends. But in 1968, it was less of a big deal than previously. But there were still people pissed off. But the people who would be pissed off at that are going to be pissed off no matter what year it is. People still pissed off about that stuff today, like Berman was saying. It's dumb. Grow up. Chili cheese burritos back at Taco Bell. I think I've ever had that. I know what I'm eating for dinner. Get him! Now, whatever you're thinking, man, don't lick the spoon. This guy couldn't even be bothered to get dressed. There's some classy zombies out there walking around in suits, and then you get some dude in a bathrobe. Do like a bathrobe. I'm just saying, if I'm gonna shamble the earth as the undead, I want to be a little bit more sharply dressed. And people will make certain judgments about you, just like I'm doing. If you show up dead in a bathrobe, like, geez, must be nice to just lounge around all day. Get a top hat, yeah. Get a top hat with some metal plating in it. Protect your brains. It's a dual purpose. Did he use any accelerant on that, or is that body just really dry? Holding a yellow Bic razor. At least he has pants on. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. He is clothed. He's not just running around naked. He's a zombie. You got to make sure you stay hydrated. Makes it harder to burn you. The good old junk drawer. Here's a bin of some random screws and nails. Who doesn't have that? Ooh, and Batman vs. the Living Dead. I'm pretty sure. It's freaking out. Who was playing someone in shock very well. Yeah. I think these people were really established at all, so I'm impressed by most of the performances. They really sell it well. God, that's goddamn remote. Assuming someone knows you're there. Yeah. Or they're just hoping people will do like house by house checks. Let's just sweep through the neighborhood. Just to be sure. But Jedi, I'm pretty sure Batman would. He could win. He could lose. It depends on who's writing it. But I'm pretty sure Batman has fought zombies in some story or there. It'd be weird if DC didn't have a zombie story at this point. Darkest Night. I guess that counts. Batman vs. Dracula was good. Oh, that was so... Well, they had sequels to that, because doesn't he become a vampire? And then he's like, I'm just a vampire now. It makes me better at being Batman. Yes, I drink some blood, but it's fine. Vampire Batman is amazing, in my opinion. Just shows up with like the smallest piece of wood. I found you this wood. It's like a doorstop. I hope this is good enough. Please don't hit me, Ben. Batman Brave and the Bold. Was Batman Brave and the Bold the one where Robin throat chops Green Lantern and they have to do a tracheotomy? Well, they're all painted yellow. It's doing great. Yeah. What's the actress's name? All-Star Batman Robin. Oh, okay. Brave and the Bold can't be. Oh, was that the cartoon? Yeah, Twilly's right. There's too many Batman. Same for Spider-Man. I can't keep them straight. Should be like a trivia show. Just throw a random title out and decide, was this an actual Batman or Spider-Man series, or was it made up? And I think many people would be fooled. So, Spider-Man: The Killing Joke. Amazing Batman. The Amazing Batman sounds real. That would fool me. Spider-Man: Another Day. Spider-Man versus Ninja Turtles. Spider-Man meets Frankenstein. Just like an average GTA run. Probably wants a reimagining of this. Well, Flash, there was a remake in the 80s, and I thought they did a really good job of it. No, 90s, 1990. Later than I thought. But there's also Return of the Living Dead, which can be viewed as a reimagining. That's got tons of great meme stuff in it. Let's see, it was writer John Russo who did the Return of the Living Dead. I get it now. So Judith O'Day plays Barbara, and if you ever get a chance to meet her at a convention, she's real nice. Oh, I'm sure he's on his way. Johnny's played by Russell Striner, who apparently is uncredited in the movie. I just scroll like way down to see his name. Don't do it, Barbara. Don't do it. Oh, did he punch her? He's not messing around. It's important to stay calm in a crisis. If you're living there actively hunting them, yeah. You can't be too kind to people if you're trying to survive in that situation. It's just like if someone gets injured, like you just gotta let it go. $75, $80. Oh, definitely into the 90s. It's like late 90s to 2000s when they really started like, I don't know if we should do this. The assassins. I miss someone said the earth was round. I could call the cops on them. Oh my God. Wow. I love this. the weaponized armchair. I love his setup with the ironing board back there. Oh, I forgot. They kind of imply that there's like an actual cause that they know of from this. which is crazy because then they just kind of abandon that. Later one's like, nobody knows. Appreciate this dude spent 20 minutes building stuff, sent arriving an already bunker of a home. Yeah. It's very well like paced out of like showing him going through it and like appropriately like time skipping, like, okay, he did all this. Goes on Vistella. No, Tomb, no. Ooh. I love to look at this from the lens of like, have you ever wondered why in a survival horror game you just open up wander through the house and just randomly find guns? Like, a lot of it can be traced back ideally to this. That may be giving it maybe too much credit, but it's definitely like influenced a lot of the earlier decisions, which then went on to influence later games. Christmas comes early with a boomstick. It is America. I'm surprised there's not like an Uzi in there. They get into Bert's home from Tremors. Not much with Asian mom with sandals. It's sort of like, you can just use these to beat the zombies, as you do. Oh, grenades. Yeah. I love how reassuring he is, like how confident he is, like, whatever breaks in, I'll deal with it. Don't worry about it. Ash from Evil Dead. Yeah. Didn't they have some guy in Germany that they had to like figure out how to break down his walls because he was building a replica tank in his house? It was very considerate of her to to pass away on top of a rug like that. I mean, waste not, want not, Uh-oh. Well, that guy's ready to throw down. Fresh off the set of 12 Angry Men. Yep, totally. Yep. Just let it sink in, Barbara. This guy is such a D-bag, man. Yeah. It's pretty easy to follow. Everyone should have a rug for that moment. Yeah. It's like in Fight Club when they keep the money in their shoe for burial expenses. Kind of weird no one checked the basement. Yeah. That's a pretty big security lapse there. I kind of agree, like there's no escape from the cellar, but like there's not really any escape upstairs if they surround the house. It's true. What's up, Zane? Welcome in. Whoa! Don't touch me! Get some cold cuts off that person. Hey guys, I got some sandwiches for you. You want some finger food? Oh boy, is that James Dean? I know it's not. They haven't learned yet. They're getting there. Zombie media did not exist yet. This is literally the only movie that I will forgive the characters in the movie not knowing what zombies are. Everything after this is like, does Night of the Living Dead not exist in your universe? You expect me to believe that? You expect me to believe this is real? But, oh... Got some cheeks there. I thought the guy in the bathrobe was bad. I forgot about the nudist rolling out. Ooh, tasty bug. Yummy, yum, yum. Pizza delivery. Zombies will just learn how to call the pizza delivery place, eat every driver. Now, Walking Dead situation, if they come up with stupid names for them. Yeah. I hate when zombie movies are like, they come up with some dumb name for them instead of just calling them zombies. Damn. No situation could be avoided. They just specify they have the order dropped off on the porch. That's why we have no contact deliveries. To prevent the spread of zombies. Guy's such an ass. Still boards his daughter up there. Yeah. Wait till you see the daughter. I think like there's some wisdom to that. In my mind, like if they're not upstairs, then the zombies can't see them. There's less agitation or reason for them to come in theory. But I do think the upstairs are a lot more defensible. But like they don't really know that. Again, this is like the start of it, so I can understand like I'll forgive any amount of stupidity. But everything after this is like, didn't you see the documentary? Oh, Oh, a TV. Wonder if Andy Griffith's on. Please go babysit the dead kid. You won't even know she's there, except by the smell. I shouldn't say that. She's not dead. But you know, you know what's going on. They don't know, but you know. We all know what's happening. Look at her arm there. I'm pretty sure she got nibbled on. Jason's movie over in 30 minutes. Would Jason be working with the zombies, or would he have to battle them? I'd enjoy seeing that. Jason showed up and just be like, whoa, I got my work cut out for me here. Jason just wants to kill the campers, but first he's gonna have to take care of some rowdy undead. Gotta fiddle with those rabbit ears. My popcorn, no. Jason, go back to the like not bothered with it. See you next year. You guys are on your own. I'll drop some kernels here. I think I got them all. Whoop. So it's like I want to drop a popcorn kernel and then roll my chair over and just grind it into the carpet. Better ration that stuff off, man. You don't want to be trying to quit smoking in this situation. That's just gonna make everyone go crazy. The windows are too weak. But also I can't see. What do you want, man? Oh yeah, you don't want to set that directly on the floor. It'll set your house right on fire. Mostly still the windows, it's just a nicotine hot box in there. They're all gonna be getting that secondhand buzz. Not in a good way. G's been all right. Sorry. I wonder why. Mmm. The CIA. Wow. Ooh. Here we go. Aliens. Yep. Back when radiation could do anything. Yep. The magical mystery of atoms. Imagine Freddy in this movie. Boy, that would really suck for the survivors. You're awake, you're fighting zombies off, you get exhausted, you fall asleep. Now this burned guy is stabbing you to death just for you to wake up and get eaten by a zombie. That's some Cabin in the Woods level stuff. Don't worry, we're on it. Once we figure out the radiation business. I recommend everyone just have a cigarette. That'll cure it. Only 17 miles. But if it's by truck and assuming they didn't have to stop, they could outrun the zombies. Should go with math, need a clock for each time zone. They're newsmen, not mathematicians. Those classes are for reading, not numbers. Hey, Terrence, what's happening? Welcome in. My foot minutes will stay put. Yeah, there's no point trying to hoof that. If you have a car, you're fine as long as nothing stops you. Because if you get stopped, that's when the trouble starts. Ooh. Oh. I mean, what he's saying is true, but like... It's like in this... Ooh! The lady upstairs. Oh, yeah. Ball guy sucks. Oh, yeah. He's a big fat piece of crap. They're just gonna playfully chew on those scissors. Mm. They're dead, Judy. Your folks were weak and stupid. They'd be the first to go. Now quit smiling and make bombs. Filling the zombos' bellies. It's the circle of life. What? Ben doesn't know how to pump gas. He'll never figure it out. Remember the time we almost died because you didn't want to leave? Did you just tell her not to smile? Never got to make Molotov cocktails and arts and crafts. Got robbed. I think we all were. All of us never had to battle through quicksand or make Molotov or improvised explosives to fight off zombies or robot assassins. What kind of life were we living? Oh, leaving. Yes. I like that. Or I have to find Johnny. He's waiting for me. You all ready for this? Now, I mean, if you did that in more orderly fashion, you could conserve those nails. You wouldn't have to waste time bending them back to try and pound it back in there. I'm just saying. But also, I feel like if it was that easy for you to pull them all out, then are they really going to hold anything? I mean, me, if I'm playing with fire, I'd take the curtains off. I would not leave them dangling there and wait to burn my house down. Guy must have come from a frat party over there with his toga. Whoa! It's kind of close to the truck there, man. Damn. Everything starts going downhill from here. What are you, like, why are you stopping? What are you doing? Get in the truck. Come on, man, drive the truck. What are you waiting for? Well, it's got to warm up for a few minutes. Jeez, man, give us some gas. What's this guy doing? Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, damn. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. This is all after all his talk of I've got to work the pump. Ben doesn't know how to do that, and then he just spews gas everywhere. Wow. Well, I remember when I was a kid, like, it kind of blew my mind. Like, every time they killed off a character, it was like, wow, they can do that? I hadn't seen a lot of this kind of movie, but it just surprised me. It's like, well, they had a lot of screen time. I really thought they were going to live. Bum, bum, bum. It must have been fun playing the zombies. I think so. As long as you didn't have to eat the bugs, I think that would have been a hell of a time. Because they didn't get paid a lot, and they absolutely like they're not seeing any kind of royalties or anything from this. So like, it's nothing but fun memories. It may have been terrible. Depends on the makeup. Yeah, yeah, get him. I would. This is the it's the worst of it. Like, it's not enough that they got blowed up and burned in the truck, and now it's time for some smoked ribs. I like how the zombies are like, they're polite enough to like form a line and pull up to the buffet and get a slab and then walk off and leave the rest for the other zombies. Some of this stuff, I'm like, I wonder what they're eating. Some of it might just be absolutely disgusting. Cameraman always live. There's the dude out there filming it all. Boy, I'm glad they think I'm dead. One of those look like a chicken leg. Yeah. One of those things just look like regular food, and the rest of them were like, they just throw some raw chicken. Yeah. The zombies still remember their manners. It begins. I don't know if that's guts or if he just picked up a snake. It's like yum yum yum. There's that. Yeah, that's definitely like a big turkey leg there. Turkey leg or chicken leg. See, the problem is that a dead body can't duck and cover. That's funny. They don't even call them zombies in this movie. They call them ghouls. He's got a cigar stuffed in his hat. Don't say it. Don't say it. No comments on what he said there. They're just out there beating off ghouls. I think maybe in 1968 it did mean the same thing if you said you had to beat someone off. Oh no. The Chief McCullough miniseries. That'd be pretty nuts. Chief McCullough, zombie cop. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Should have left your torch out there. I mean, that armchair's still smoking, so like it could just go right up again at any minute now. Can never be too careful with couch fires. That's a flimsy window. That guy just barely let the brick drop into it. Ugh. Is that zombie trying to grab him below the belt? Most of the zombies are hungry. At least one of them is thirsty. Here it comes. Kick his ass. Come on. Damn. I forgot he actually shot him. Well done, Ben. Well done. Cold-blooded. The guy is if you got someone making trouble like that, then you got to put them down because they're only going to get more people killed. Like, and they're in like a dire situation. They need him to get the hammer and help them put the boards back up, and he's just screwing around with the rifle. You've lost your privileges, pal. Fair though, yeah, tough but fair. Definitely the right call. Yeah, I think the only thing wrong with him, with Ben shooting him then, is that he should have done it like 20 minutes ago, in my opinion. Clean up that mud butter before I'm having to be. No, delete. No. Oh boy. Oh yeah. I think this might have been like one of the big things that bothered my brother a lot when we were kids. The most traumatic death in the whole movie. Just keep on digging. The most controversial scene. Yeah, that's pretty intense. You ever seen Frankenstein? Oh yeah, yeah. I saw several years ago. I saw Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein in the theaters. You know, it was like special limited events. Here's Johnny. That's like that's really horrific. After going through all of that and watching him die, only to get tore up by her own dead brother. There he is. He's been waiting all this time. No. Don't touch me. Nope. The irony is that I think that guy was right in the end. Like overall, right? That the seller was more defensible. Harry, but the problem is he was an asshole, and I do think that like they both had the right idea, like they needed to be up there to see what was going on, but you know, once that fire went out, they just kind of swept in. But they did have the cellar to fall back on. So the Frankenstein remake coming out next month has Christopher Watts in it. Written by Gail Tone. I didn't see that. I'm curious about it. Maybe I'll try and catch that in the theater. If they had cooperated, they could have survived this. Yeah. Well, then but think about like the other conflict they would have when the daughter inevitably turned. And then like the fight that would ensue and how many people would end up getting bit and having to, you know, ultimately get turned because they didn't want to put down their daughter. Like at least half of them would have died just from that. He definitely didn't need more than one shot, and there's a lot of spite in that. Burn. You can tell spite versus mercy. Yeah. Like he didn't bother to shoot the kid either because he didn't think it was really necessary or he just couldn't bring himself to do it. There was no like anger in killing the mom, but definitely when he shot Harry, it was like, you bald ass piece of shit. They're just beating on the walls. They're like woodpeckers looking for termites. Welcome back, Jed. So peaceful and serene. The nocturnal zombos. They mostly come out at night. Mostly. Oh, wait a minute. Where'd you get that coffee? That's a good damn question. Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. It's probably fine. But that was like the implication in versions with the additional footage that like, oh yeah, we cleared it all up. Like everything's fine. Except for people who got bit that we're just kind of eyeballing because we don't know if they're going to turn or not, which is how it just all comes back. But like, I feel like it was to a point realistic enough that it's like, oh, they're slow and we could just shoot them in the head. You get enough people together with guns, and as long as they're careful about it, they could probably pull this off without too much trouble. But like, I feel like it doesn't take much to hit a tipping point. Like, not many things have to go wrong before it dominoes out to like, welp, And usually it will be because, you know, someone's screwing around and they get bit and they hide it. And then they're inside the military base, and then the zombies are in there, and then they can't get to the guns. So it really walking like a razor's edge with zombie stories. Because if they're competent and careful enough, they could really like clean up the streets. They could get through it. But it doesn't take, like, they don't have a big margin of error before they're just screwed. Just like in the World War Z books. Yeah. Because the book is like told after the fact, like after it's over, correct? I haven't read it. My brother did. He told me about it, and that's that's what I remember anyway. Yep, yeah. But even like in zombie movie media, like that's often the case where like things are going fine, and then some dumb thing happens. So someone makes a stupid mistake, and then it all falls apart. Sorry, I didn't mean to blow directly on the mic. Yeah, it's such a bummer. And it's such a bummer because, like, you can't even say, like, oh, they just didn't like the guy. They shot him. Like, they thought he was a zombie. So when we work in 2025, absolutely. Absolutely, I think it can. So there's a remake in the 90s, which I quite enjoyed. They make a few changes that seem minor, but are, like, they radically change parts of the story. And I think it works for that movie, but it definitely doesn't replace this movie. They stand side by side. It's worth checking out. It's worth watching. It's got decent effects. The acting's decent, but there's two like big changes they make to events that happen in the movie that make it very different by the end of it. And that there's a lot of people really didn't like it. Some people really liked it. I thought it was good for that movie. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you do a remake and you can make big changes and it's like, for this version, it works. But the original story still stands. It's just they were making a different movie this time. Which is kind of what you want, right? Did you really just want like a shot-for-shot remake like that? Was it Gus Van Sant did that shot-for-shot remake of Psycho? With what's-his-face from Dodgeball? And like, I didn't think it was bad. It just seemed kind of pointless. But I love like the ending of this, rather like the credit rolls, the different photos, like the aftermath, the burning everything, a lot of like really, to me, like unnerving still shots of stuff. This is what sets it apart from just like, yeah, like it's a horror movie with some zombies. Like they got a lot of stuff like that really sells a lot. Vince Vaughn. Well, it's a 1998 Psycho remake. That's just like a shot-for-shot remake. Oh, it's just looping over again. All right, let's go back to the chat screen. It worked today? I hope so. What? So this was the first time I did a watch along. You know, I hopefully you enjoyed. I hope you all enjoyed the movie. I hope that you know, thank you again, Twilly, for the feedback. I didn't even consider the timing, but I will make sure that in the future it's counting up and not down. That it does make it a lot easier, and just an oversight on my part. Humanity technically won. Yeah, humanity like not everyone got out of it alive, but like humanity as a whole survives. This was fun. I'm glad to hear it. I do plan to do more of these, at least this month, and then possibly more in the future, spread them out. I would like to do this again next weekend. I gotta see how the time works out. There's still a bunch of stuff going on, but I think we should be able to do it again around this time, Saturday, same time next Saturday. If so, I would like to watch Sweet Home. If y'all are interested in it, it is the Japanese horror movie that is like in rights limbo, but there's a really nice Doomsday Project rip of the laser discs that's really good quality. It's what the video game Sweet Home, which was the predecessor to Resident Evil, is based off of. It's a good like Japanese haunted house movie. It has special effects by Dick Smith. Did a lot of effects for things like Poltergeist. I really enjoy it. I think so. It's got some really good stuff in it. And if you remember, if you've seen Sweet Home or played the game, like you'll catch a lot of the stuff that they put in the game. They did a really good job with the game too, the movie 2 game. It's cool seeing these classic movies. Yeah, I try to find stuff that is like easy to disseminate, easy to hand out access to people. I'm trying to avoid. I won't be able to do it forever, but I try to avoid anything that will require like a paid subscription to something. I know like people can find the movies a lot of different ways, but it's just nicer if I can find a link to send out to like, hey, here's the movie. We can go watch it. I thought about finding stuff on Tubi, but the difficulty with Tubi is that it has ads, and those could pop up at like random times for different people. You know, I think they come up at set times, but like that could add some variance that may make it harder to track stuff. I don't know. But yeah, if you get any feedback, you know, you post it in the chat. You can post it in the community section. Post it in the Discord if you're on the Discord. You know, I'd love to hear any feedback on stuff. Hopefully, I didn't jabber too much over the movie. It wasn't too annoying to anybody. I try not to be talking too much while there's like meaningful dialogue and stuff going on. And try not to be too annoying about it. But I had a lot of fun. This was really fun for me. So I hope we can do this again in the future. God willing, the creek don't rise. I'll be back next Saturday for Sweet Home, and then we'll see what we do after that. We'll see what we do. I got a couple other movies in mind that we can check out. I'll just see where I can find them. But Sweet Home, I think Sweet Home is on. I think there's also a good version of that on archive.org. Sweet Home never got a domestic release, never got a US release. And it's pretty much just like, I'm not going to say it's lost media, but it's just in limbo because of like rights disputes. So I don't see it ever coming back. You don't need Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. We good? I probably won't do one of those this year. But maybe next year, or sometime down the road, because those are fun. Maybe I'll do Friday the 13th before the next Friday the 13th. Let's see if I can find this real quick. It might just be on YouTube. Yeah. Okay. So I found it on YouTube. I'll have to check and see. It's on YouTube, but I'll have to check it and see if there is ads on it, because that may throw stuff off. Just hit the pause. We'll see about that. Need my big mouth. Yeah, I don't plan on doing it right now. I'll have to get into a browser that's not logged or log out of this so I can see just like the raw view to see if there's advertisements on Sweet Home. 1989. Hour 40 minutes. It's good. It's a good movie. I really enjoy it. So I look forward to that. I will be back tomorrow afternoon, 5 p.m. Eastern. We'll be playing Pret and Heru for The Prisoner. It's a kind of a classic award-winning what is it called? Independent fan project. I guess independent would be it. It was made for like to enter some software contests for the PC-98 line of computers and the NEC computer system. Never really made it outside of Japan. And it's made with the RPG Maker for the PC-98. So it's like a very early RPG Maker horror RPG. that takes place beneath a pyramid. So it's an archaeologist and a bunch of archaeology students exploring a pyramid, and things go wrong. It looks pretty interesting. I think that on How Long to Beat, it said it was like 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours. So we'll see. But I think it does have alternate endings. So I look forward to checking that out. Yeah, so that will do it for me for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for chatting with me. I hope you enjoyed. I really love this movie, and I'm really going to share it with people. If you haven't seen it, I hope it was to your liking. Yeah. So until the next one, so long, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye-bye. Not that one. I will not be right back. I hit the wrong button. The be right back button is on this thing twice. And I don't know what happened, but suddenly brain switch is flipped and I no longer remember, like, in this corner over here is be right back. I'm like, oh, it's outro. And I've almost done that several times, and I finally I gotta move that around. Those are me problems. All right, we'll catch you later. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.